In today's episode, how we store our watches, watch straps, and watch bracelets. Let's check it out. Vault! Whew! Good God! What is it good for? Absolutely everything! Say it again! What is going on? I am very excited about today's episode because it is brought to you somewhat in part, if not whole, by Vault. Vaultcase.co has been the inspiration for today's storage episode. I'm going to do a recap of how I store my watches, how I store my straps, but most importantly, the most interesting development, how to store watch bracelets, which Vault has very graciously sent me in some stuff based on my specs and how I want to use their gear to store my watch bracelet. Before we get into the meat and the potatoes, a couple highlights of some previous winners. I've been lax in getting the winners circle photos out to you. We've got Andy, who won the CountyCom Mega Daddy giveaway. Congrats, he's become a watch bro. Also John, one of the only Spring Bar winners to send me a photo after their victory lap. Shame on y'all who didn't send me a picture. We got Aaron, who won the NDC Strap-pocalypse. Ball bam, love that graphic for Strap-pocalypse. And also Jack, who won the most recent Vault giveaway. It's an amazing thing. I am rocking a Zinn 256 on a, come on camera, where are you at? RSM strap. Gorgeous. Wear a walrus, that's what's up. RSMwatchstrap.com is a new trusted supplier, and I am rocking out with my Zinn on one of their beautiful straps. So this is the Vault Nano in Zombie Green. I'm going to feature this a little bit today, but what I'm really featuring is the Vault Secure right here that has all of my bracelets stored inside, and I'm overjoyed to share it with you because, frankly, Lawrence and team solved the conundrum. I've been trying to solve this for many a moon, if not year. So let's cut to it and see what we got happening on deck. I'm going to kick off this storage analysis with a regrouping of how I store watches and etc. before I get into straps and bracelet storage. Vault is indeed the inspiration for this reboot of a storage episode because they have helped me solve my bracelet storage conundrum. Coming back to this in a moment. Going quickly around the room, when I store watches in the bank, I store them as watch heads. I keep my straps at home. Unless the watch lives on its bracelet, it will be in the bank just as a watch head. For example, this Zinn 256. I have these little plastic thingies, and I just printed out the picture of it at like a Staples or whatever, and I keep it in there, wrapped in one of those microfiber cloths so it's safe, and it's unusually efficient, especially if you have too many watches. I don't store it in this Pelican. This one just happens to store 4 at a time, so it's easy and convenient for transpo. Although the Pelican 1015 could be used certainly very well for that as well. I just have it here for demonstration purposes. Now, if I'm traveling with more than one watch, let's say I'm taking up to 3 watches with me, I will go with a CountyCom.com watch taco. Here we have this one outfitted with the 3-in-1 Collab watchmaker's tool. We've got a 2-stitch strap here. We have got a walrus strap here, RSM watch strap there. And this is what the inside looks like. You can store up to 3 watches in here conveniently, safely. Let's see what that looks like. Now, this is probably how I would pack them if I'm going on a road trip to a watch show or whatever, as opposed to airline. So if you've got a watch on a strap, the head facing in, I guess outwards in this case, here and here, and then a watch on a bracelet here, again wrapped in one of these microfiber cloths so that the bracelet isn't touching itself. But that's how I would get away with transporting 3 watches. Actually, you stay for a minute, I'm going to need you. But if I'm only going to, I sometimes don't like to put that into a carry-on because this is easy to access if someone was looking to pilfer from me. But before I get to this, let's do this. Watch coffin. I think this is pretty great for safety box storage. It's certainly protective, not waterproof obviously, but Any of your Rolex type watches where it's got a bracelet that's malleable, isn't too structured, where it maintains an oval, you'll see that on the Bulova in a minute. Works great for these watches. My Christopher Ward divers, the C60, which are like 42, 43 millimeters, don't really fit in here all that well. The styrofoam it wants to have a smaller watch in there where the bracelet is a little floppy-do. So these, you can get these for as low as $6 a piece on eBay. I see some people selling these for $20. That's madness. Don't pay that. But I was using these for, like, my Porsche design watches fit in here rather well for storage in the bank. It's hit or miss though. So my new favorite way to store watches, and this is a Maxpedition Molly pouch. Molly technology is usually associated with the armed forces gear, but this is from their Urban line, where they kind of adapted the Molly principle to something that looks a little more pedestrian, a little more urban. And this particular pouch was made to either store a multi-tool, a pew-pew clip, magazine rather, or maybe a sharp edge. But here's what I do with it. So I have a watch, and I protect the bracelet by, these are first gen Hobby of Hours plastic cards. This is the equivalent of like those gift cards you get. What I do is I make a little cut, a little incision here, and I bend it back a little bit so that this is kind of staying on here. And then that way it protects the bracelet. But this pouch, okay, so this part is, this Velcro doesn't touch it. This is padded through here. It's padded across here. It's padded on the back. And this is how I will typically travel with a watch. If I'm going to a watch meetup and I want to bring a second watch for some reason, I'll slip this into one of my front pockets in my jeans. You could certainly put this on a belt, and I don't know, I'd be inclined to put it towards the front of my belt, so I've got eyes on it at all times. But I absolutely adore this method if I'm only going with one. But if I'm going out to LA for a spell, I'll take these. But it just depends on what I'm doing for the trip. Like sometimes when I'm going to LA, what I'll do is I'll take a couple watches in this form factor, pop this into my carry-on. I'll put it into, there's a locking zipper in my carry-on bag, also by Maxpedition. Maybe I'll do a bag review at some point. And then I'll take some straps and then my strap tool, and then I've got variety. But this all runs in the face of whether or not your watch lives on its bracelet or not. So Case Buddy here, this is the oversized Case Buddy, quite a big one. I bought one of these out of curiosity, but I usually use the regular Case Buddy that is quite a bit smaller. Now this is a 3-banger here. They also make one that's 5, not in this size, but in the smaller size. But this is a absurdly large one. And the neat thing about the large one is these inserts, you can move this blue thing left and right to size your watch. I've got the Suunto in there right now. That's probably the biggest watch I have on hand. I wouldn't store this like this. What I use this for is I keep all of my G-Shocks in here without these things. I just let them run around in here, and they're basically kept at home, so they're safe in there. But this would be good. I actually use the Case Buddy for my Reverso, my Cartier watches, because that strap on the Cartier Basculant does not want to bend, nor does the bracelet on the GMT. It's integrated. You're going to see what this would be good. In fact, let me leave that open. You're going to see what that's going to be good for in a moment. So we've got the Pelican 1075. This remains my #1 method for storing watches at home and or in the bank, particularly for transpo or ease of use. Look how thin this is. This originally started its life for iPad storage whenever the iPads first came out. They've since begun marketing this as a pew-pew case, and I do have some of them for that rather. I kind of abandoned it, but this is how I love to store watches. You do not want to get one of those watch storage cases that's pretty looking wood with a glass top so everyone can see your stuff. You need to hide your stuff, keep it tactical, and ba-bam. This is how I've configured the pick and pluck foam. If you want this design, it's free to all. In fact, I'll step back for a moment. I will insert the grid system template for this. Feel free to use, feel free to share. I absolutely adore it. So what this allows you to do is store 8 watches, whether on strap or on bracelets. See, this bracelet was coming along for a while. What I'll do, wrap that in a cloth, and I'll put it face down. And if there's another braceleted watch, it fits there fine. But if it's going up against a strap, I'll do this in such a way that the strap is what's coming into contact with that cloth, not the actual clasp. You can store 8 watches this way, and if you're enterprising, you could store, 1, 2, 3 more in that way. So you could practically get up to 11 in here. And I've got a little slot dug out for the watch tool, for a little container to hold spring bars. But here we have the Bulova Royal Oak tribute. This is an integrated bracelet that does not play well with, uh-oh, be careful there, D. I don't want to force that. I'm going to have to come back to that. Anywho, this does not play well in this configuration, so I would be inclined to store it in a case buddy where this bracelet can be fully deployed. What's going on here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Without it being smushed. Maybe that started misbehaving because I had it a bit smushed in here. But it's serviceable. Actually, maybe if I pop this out like this. Okay. Crown up. And then whenever this closes, it's going to be secure and semi-watertight. I don't know that I don't think it's waterproof. I really should test. I should test this out at Big C's pool this summer. But this is how I store watches. This is easy to slip into a crawl space. I'm not going to tell you where I hide mine, but if I have this at home, it's hidden. It slips in and out of a larger bank safety deposit box really rather well. And it's just easy and convenient, and it's tactical, baby. We have to keep it tactical. But this is how I store the watches. If you want any advice on this, by all means, hit me up. Let me clear the deck here, and let's move over to straps and bracelet storage. Next up, straps. Unequivocally, the BG Trend case is the most formidable strap holder I've ever found. If you roll this open here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another 6 there, 6 to 6 to 6 to 6. You can even double stack some. These are amazingly good, amazingly affordable on Amazon. I think these are like 10, 12 bucks. But once you fold this up like this, it also has this outer pouch here to hold, some odd duck ones that kind of don't fit into the standard slots, or if you want to store, maybe you got some extra clasps or deployants there. The funny thing about this is I have a watch buddy who insists on storing his straps in a drawer.
Appalling.
And I almost shipped him a couple of these for Christmas. You know who you are, sir. Seriously though, friend, catch out the BG Trend. This is absolutely epic for watch strap storage. Although to be fair, I also keep my dado straps in a drawer, but it's a long drawer and it's organized. That's all I'm going to say about that. Checking out some of the Vault products, this is their Nano. I'm not currently using this for watch storage, but with these panels in here with the Molly webbing, very good for sharp edges, multi-tool, Gerber flashlight. And I'm thinking of using this for a Pew Pew case. It just so happens that if you take the panels out, this side will fit a 365. If you know, you know. One of its holders of Freedom Stones here, one on board, a 10er on board, a 12 right here, and then 4 or if not 5 more 12s here. So that is a ton of Freedom Stones in one adorable case, if not gorgeous, in zombie green. So I wanted to share that with you. Link to the description below to check them out. We do have a discount code with Vault. They are a trusted supplier. Those discount codes got moved to the channel description in lieu of the body. So check the channel description and get you some money off of your stuff. This part is the inspiration for the video. Today we are going to be looking at the Vault Secure. It's got that TSA approved lock right there. And this particular build I've got going on here, this isn't a standard config for them yet. It's all their stuff. I'm just kind of changing it around how I'm going to use it. I was struggling with a way to store watch bracelets. I thought I could adapt the 1075 to do so. And what I did is I bought one and I went pick and pluck style to get, I think this is 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 22 straps, 22 bracelets in here, and it worked. But I couldn't tell what bracelets they were because they were sitting in there vertically and they were touching each other, and I was trying to figure out, okay, what kind of plastic can I put in between them to keep that from happening? And the project didn't go anywhere. And I started fiddling around with the vaultcase secure and its panels, and I discovered I could adapt and adopt their panels for bracelet storage. And as soon as I did, I had to write to Lawrence and say, hey, could I get a bunch of more of these panels? So the way I'm configuring it today, it's still a work in progress, is this is their main panel that is attached via Velcro to the back. And if you notice here, bracelets, no matter their size, can slip in there very easily, and I can tell what they are because the clasp, I have it configured to come out in the middle. And even if it's a little bit long, like this one is long, you can fold these underneath there. This is integrated. This doesn't fold well, doesn't play well with others. But then that's 8 there. I've got 5 more there. This is the soft side of Velcro, the loop side, kind of as a protector if I had some there. But then I'm using their 3x panels for the majority of the storage in here. And I say it's a work in progress because these come with the hook side of Velcro on the back here. And I don't want this touching what's underneath it for long. I just kind of put it together. I'm probably going to just take scissors or something and cut these off so that the soft side is what's making contact here. Again, this isn't traveling very far or whatever. This is usually sitting in the office, but check it. 1 layer of panel there, 1 there, that's 6. Another panel there, another panel there, and then the bottom panel. So 3, and that's 6. That's 18 bracelets right there. Another 5, that's 23, and another 8. 23, that's 30. I can't count. 31. So this is their 4x panel, and this works if the 2 inners are thinner and the 2 outers are regular size. I did have to make a couple little cuts on the edges there, but this works. Certainly if you are, okay, obviously I have too many bracelets, watches, etc. But this is amazing, and I absolutely adore it. I was so pleased to have it. So I want to say thank you to Vault for sending me these panels. Absolutely adore it. And I no longer am fumbling through the case trying to figure out, oh, where's my hand heart bracelet? Oh, where's my Zen? Oh, where's my CWs? Okay. Oh, there it is. There's my Zenith. I know exactly where they are. And once I take these back panels off, it's going to be, easier, more convenient in terms of not just not worrying about things getting scratched by this, but also it's probably going to buy me a millimeter of height as well, and it's just going to fit more comfortably. So I'm encouraging Lawrence and team to configure this as a standard on their website, because you would need to buy the base case, the secure, plus a couple other panels depending on your needs. Like, I might be tempted to get rid of these 2 panels and just do 2 more layers of the 6, although I'm also trying to persuade him to make me one of these panels that does 7 across, because this has 5. I'm sure I can fit 7 comfortably there. Look, I even have my Panerai in here somewhere. Where's my Panerai bracelet? That Oris bracelet's kind of fat. Where's me Panerai? Is he over here? Gosh, I thought I had my Panerai. Oh, there it is. Panerai's right here. This Tudor's looking rather fat. This off-brand one here, kind of fat as well. But the most important thing is when you've got even if you have a full-size bracelet, like this Porsche design bracelet has not been fitted. Look how far it would normally stick out. Not needed. Just wrapping it underneath the Molly strap, and it is safe and sound as a pound. Everything in one place, in its place, zipped up, locked up, ba-bam. Absolutely love it. All right, let's take it back to the shop.
Bam! Vault, bringing the heat, helping me solve my bracelet storage challenge. So grateful to Lawrence and team for not only being a trusted supplier, but indulging me as I asked for some extra parts to build this out. If you like this idea and if you want to store your watch bracelets, write to him. Use our discount code. You can piece together the stuff. But, you know, you might even want to say, hey, Lawrence, I caught this episode on Hobby of Hours. I would really love to get a custom kit put together so I could store my bracelets. And who knows, maybe he will do it for us. Super excited to have them as a trusted supplier and for sponsoring this video. And hope it was of some value to you. The links to these products are in the description below. And not all of these products are from trusted suppliers who have a discount code, but the ones that are indeed in the channel description. I moved the discount codes up to the channel level in order to make the descriptions of the individual videos a little bit less cluttered. And frankly, it's easier to update. So check there for any description, or check there for any discounts in the description. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me here in the comments, at the channel email, or of course on my Insta. Hope the review are in this wonderful, beautiful hobby of ours that you're doing well and that you're blessed. We will catch you in the next one. Peace. If you'd like to support the channel, head over to hobbyofhours.com. We've got artwork, coffee mugs, hats, t-shirts, and even a watch book. 1001 Watch Designs, Volume 1. Over 1,000 designs in here. Steampunk, super futuristic, kaleidoscope, even super real ones. Watches that you could probably put on your wrist today. It's a great way to support the channel. Thanks for coming along on the ride.